Have you ever wondered if your daily habits are secretly speeding up your aging process? The truth is, many routines we rely on to feel safe or efficient can quietly erode our vitality, mental clarity, and independence as we age. After 70, these seemingly harmless patterns, like avoiding exercise, eating like you did decades ago, or shying away from technology, can lead to stiffness, low energy, forgotten plans, or even a sense of disconnection. Worse, by the time you notice, the consequences may already be taking a toll. In this video, we uncover 6 unexpected habits you should reconsider, not because someone says so, but because letting them go can unlock a more active, confident, and fulfilling life. Stick around until the end, because you'll discover practical strategies to break these habits and hear inspiring stories, like George, 80, who regained strength with simple exercises, or Susan, 72, who transformed her energy through smarter eating. You'll recognize patterns in your own life and leave with clear, actionable steps to feel like yourself again. Whether you're over 70 or caring for someone who is, this video offers insights to preserve independence, boost well-being, and embrace aging with purpose. Don't miss out. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's dive into these game-changing tips to help you thrive in this chapter of life. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Avoiding muscle strengthening activity. One of the most common and unfortunate mistakes many people make after the age of 70 is thinking that slowing down and reducing physical effort is a safer way to live. At first glance, this logic may seem reasonable. You start to feel a little more stiffness in your joints, your sense of balance isn't as sharp as it once was, and even something as simple as lifting a bag heavier than a grocery bag feels like a mountain to climb. So, it becomes easy to believe that resting is the best way to protect yourself and avoid injury. But let me tell you, this couldn't be further from the truth. Choosing to skip muscle-strengthening activities and opting for a sedentary life is one of the most harmful decisions you can make, especially after 70. It's like signing up for a life of restriction, where the ability to move freely and do the things you love begins to slip away. The loss of muscle strength, often silently, without the immediate sting of pain, can rob you of your physical independence, making even simple tasks like standing up from a chair or bending down to tie your shoes feel impossible. Our muscles aren't just a source of power, they're essential for our very survival. They keep us strong, healthy, and capable of managing the challenges life throws at us. Without them, we lose our freedom. As we age, something called sarcopenia, muscle deterioration, accelerates unless we actively work to stop it. And this doesn't mean you need to start training like a professional athlete, lifting weights or running marathons. No, it's about maintaining the muscles you already have by keeping them active and engaged. Simple, modest exercises, like using your body weight, light dumbbells, or resistance bands, can work wonders. They don't require hours at the gym, just a few minutes a day with consistent effort. Consistency and intentionality are key here. Every time you stand up from a chair without assistance, every time you walk around your house or stretch to reach something overhead, your muscles are the ones making it possible. Let me share a story with you. Meet George, an 80-year-old man who once believed that avoiding exercise was the safest route for him. After a minor fall a few years ago, he became afraid of pushing his limits, terrified that any exertion could lead to another injury. He stuck to the couch, taking only short walks and doing activities that felt safe. He thought that inactivity was protecting him. But after working with a physical therapist, he realized that doing nothing was doing more harm than good. He started with just 5 minutes of simple strength exercises. Nothing complex, nothing extreme. He began by standing up from a chair without using his arms, lifting light cans of soup, and practicing balance by standing on one foot near the kitchen counter. In just 2 months, something incredible happened. His legs grew stronger, and more importantly, his confidence was restored. It was the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you're capable of moving through life with strength and purpose. It's the confidence that lets you rise from bed without hesitation, walk around a store without needing a cart, and get down on the floor to play with your grandchildren, knowing you'll have the strength to get back up. Strength isn't just about mobility. It's about self-respect. It's about the quiet, unspoken pride of knowing your body can do the things that matter to you. It's about that inner peace that comes with independence and the ability to live your life on your terms. And the best part? You don't need to devote hours each day to it. Just a few simple, consistent movements, done regularly, can begin to restore what time has tried to take away. Most people don't talk about muscle loss because it happens gradually and silently. It doesn't come with the sharp pain of an injury or a noticeable decline at first. But over time, you'll start to feel it. The windedness when climbing stairs, the need to lean on something just to get out of a chair, the frustration of feeling your body let you down when you least expect it. But here's the thing, the earlier you address it, the easier it is to reverse the effects. It's never too late to make a change. You don't need fancy equipment or expensive tools. What you truly need is the commitment to prioritize your strength, to take charge of your health, and to reject the temptation to take it easy. Number 2. Eating the way you did in your 40s. For so many people over 70, one of the hardest habits to break is clinging to the eating patterns of their younger years. You know the routine, same meal portions, same comfort foods, same meal times, and it feels safe, familiar, and comforting. For decades, it may have worked well. But let me be honest, your body is no longer the same well-oiled machine it was back in your 40s. The truth is, it has changed, and it needs different things now. Your metabolism has slowed down, your digestion isn't as smooth as it once was, and your body's nutritional requirements have evolved. The reality is, many older adults continue to eat out of habit rather than actual hunger. They've conditioned themselves to expect certain portions, certain foods, at the same time each day. It's an automatic response, comforting, but not necessarily what their body needs. And here's the catch. That quiet, unthinking pattern can lead to weight gain, low energy, and even the development of health issues like blood sugar problems. It's a silent thief that creeps up, slowly but surely, without us even realizing it. What's important to understand is that when you're over 70, each meal becomes so much more significant. You may not need as much food as you did before, but what you do need is nutrient-dense, easily digestible foods that fuel not just your body, but your bones, brain, and overall stamina. It's about making smarter choices, saying no to large portions of heavy meats, refined carbs, and processed snacks, and yes to smaller, well-balanced meals that include fiber-rich vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and hydrating fruits. This isn't about going hungry or depriving yourself. No, it's about nourishing your body based on what it truly needs at this stage of life, not what it needed decades ago. Let me share Susan's story with you. She's 72, and for the longest time, she never gave her eating habits much thought. 3 hearty meals a day, just like she'd always done. But gradually, something started to change. After dinner, she often felt bloated, her afternoon energy started to dip, and her clothes felt tighter. It was a subtle shift, but it was enough for her to notice. Her doctor didn't lecture her or suggest a quick-fix diet. Instead, he simply suggested a small, thoughtful change: reduce portion sizes, include more vegetables, and pay attention to the body's signals of fullness. In less than a month, Susan experienced a transformation. Not only did she lose some weight, but she also felt more alert, had better sleep, and noticed a more emotionally balanced state that surprised her. It wasn't about following a strict diet plan. It was about making gentle adjustments that honored her body and its needs. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Just like you wouldn't continue wearing shoes from your 30s because they no longer fit or serve you, Your eating habits need to evolve too. Aging is a journey that teaches us wisdom, and that includes being wiser about what we put into our bodies. Eating less isn't about denying yourself, it's about making smarter choices. It's about giving your body what it needs to function at its best, while cutting out the excess that drags you down. When you start making mindful, balanced meal choices, you'll begin to notice the difference. Your body will respond with more energy, clearer thinking, and a more stable mood. And here's the thing. It's okay to create new eating habits in this chapter of your life. It's a beautiful form of self-care. You're not letting go of the joy of food. You're cultivating a healthier, more supportive relationship with it. You're learning what genuinely nourishes you, what keeps you going, and what makes you feel your absolute best. That kind of insight is not only beneficial, it's incredibly empowering. It's a way of loving yourself, of honoring where you are now, and giving your body the care it truly deserves. Number 3. Withdrawing from social connection. As we age, the tendency to retreat into ourselves, often without even realizing it, becomes increasingly common. After 70, it's so easy to slip into isolation. It might begin innocently enough, skipping one social gathering, then another, until the habit sets in. You might find yourself canceling plans more often, telling yourself that staying home is simply more comfortable. But here's the thing. Isolation doesn't always come from a desire for solitude. It can creep in due to physical limitations, emotional struggles, or even an unspoken belief that you have little to offer others anymore. Perhaps you notice that people don't check in as they once did, and it's hard not to feel like you've been forgotten. So you withdraw, quietly and gradually, until one day, you're left in a space that feels safe, yet hollow. You might tell yourself that the silence is peaceful, that you're content in your own company. But deep down, the truth is harder to ignore. Social isolation isn't just an inconvenient state, it's a real and tangible threat to your well-being. Loneliness is more than just a fleeting feeling. It has physical consequences. Research shows that a lack of social connection in older adults can contribute to depression, cognitive decline, and even a higher risk of heart disease. The brain, like the body, thrives on interaction, connection, and emotional exchange. Without those regular moments of human connection, the mind begins to retreat inward, and sadly, this is where the danger lies. Think of casual conversations, the shared laughter, or the comfort of a simple phone call. These are more than just fleeting exchanges. They are lifelines for your mental and emotional health. They're like exercises for your brain, keeping it sharp, alert, and engaged. More than that, these interactions fortify your sense of self-worth. They remind you that you matter, that you're valued. Take Emma, for example. She's 77 and, after the loss of her husband, slowly distanced herself from the people she once enjoyed spending time with. At first, she believed the space was necessary for healing. But what began as a brief respite soon stretched into years of silence. Over time, her mind became clouded, her days blurred together, and motivation to do even simple tasks started to fade. Her daughter noticed the change and gently encouraged her to try something new, a weekly senior yoga class. Emma, reluctant and unsure, decided to give it a try. What truly surprised her wasn't the physical activity, it was the human connection. The brief exchanges before class, the light-hearted chats afterward, even the shared laughter about their week. These small moments of connection reignited a spark in Emma's heart, bringing a sense of joy and vibrancy back into her life. She hadn't realized how much she longed for the presence of others, how much she missed feeling like she was part of something larger than herself. Now, this doesn't mean you need to join every group or attend loud social events. It's not about filling your schedule with obligations. Instead, it's about finding small, intentional ways to stay connected. A standing phone call with a friend, a walk around the block with a neighbor, attending a community event at your local church, or even joining an online group with shared interests. These simple actions are like little doses of emotional nutrition. They lift your spirit, reignite your energy, And most importantly, they remind you that you are not alone. The more we reach out, the stronger and more balanced we become, not just physically but emotionally. Social connections nourish us. They breathe life into our days and light up the corners of our hearts. And yet, isolation can feel safe. It's quiet. It's comfortable. But there's a vast difference between enjoying your own company and withdrawing from the world. The first is rejuvenating. It refreshes you, fills you up. The second, over time, depletes you. You have so much to offer the world. Your wisdom, your kindness, your humor. People are enriched just by having you around, even if you don't always see it. And when you reach out, it's not just for your benefit. It's a gentle reminder to someone else that they're not walking through life alone either. Your connection matters. Your presence makes a difference. And in a world that can sometimes feel disconnected, that simple act of reaching out can be life-changing. Not just for you, but for someone else too. Number 4. Brushing off minor health issues. Brushing off minor health issues might seem like a small thing, but it can be one of the most dangerous habits to develop after turning 70. We all know the signs: the occasional lightheadedness, mild chest pressure, or feeling more tired than usual in the afternoon. These symptoms may seem so insignificant that they barely register in our minds, and we convince ourselves it's just part of getting older. It's nothing to worry about, we think. I don't want to burden anyone, and besides, I'm too tired of going to doctors. So, we stay quiet. We ignore it. But here's the hard truth. Overlooking these seemingly minor issues can have serious, even life-threatening, consequences. As we grow older, our bodies become more fragile, more vulnerable. Yet, paradoxically, they also become more communicative, if we're paying attention. These subtle signals that we once brushed off are now louder, trying to get our attention before something bigger and more dangerous takes root. That small swelling in your ankles might not just be a temporary inconvenience. It could be your heart sending out an urgent warning. The forgetfulness you brush off could be more than just a lapse in memory. It could be an early sign of something much more concerning. As the years go by, ignoring these signs only makes it harder to address potential health problems. What could have been a simple fix becomes an uphill battle. Early detection isn't just about avoiding anxiety. It's about being proactive and taking charge of your well-being. It's about making smart choices that give you control, something we should never give up on. Trust me, the power of taking action early is priceless. I remember Henry, a 76-year-old man I once met. Henry was the kind of person who thought of himself as tough. He didn't want to make a fuss and avoided the doctor whenever he could. If something didn't cause him immediate pain, it didn't bother him. But as time passed, he noticed his vision becoming blurry, and his feet began to tingle. He shrugged it off, thinking, well, it's just old age creeping up. It wasn't until his daughter, who was concerned, urged him to see a doctor that he finally got checked. That visit changed everything. Henry found out he had early-stage diabetes. But because it was detected early, he was able to make lifestyle changes, such as adjusting his diet and increasing his exercise, to manage the condition. His doctor made it clear, if he had waited much longer, the situation would have been much harder to manage, or worse. He was lucky. We're all experts when it comes to our bodies. When something feels off, when a symptom doesn't seem quite right, we have every right to take it seriously. This isn't about fearing the worst. It's about taking responsibility for our health. It's about giving ourselves the best chance for a longer, healthier life. Not every health issue announces itself with flashing red lights or dramatic pain. Some sneak up on you quietly, and if you're not paying attention, they can slip by unnoticed. But as we age, those quiet signals become increasingly important. Acting on them early leads to faster recovery, fewer medications, and ultimately, a better quality of life. It also means trusting yourself, trusting your instincts. If you feel that a doctor isn't listening to you or brushing off your concerns, don't be afraid to ask more questions, seek another opinion, or stand up for your health. You deserve that. You have the right to fight for the life you want to live. Number 5. Depending on memory instead of writing things down. As we age, one of the most subtle yet significant habits that can creep in is relying too heavily on memory. If you're over 70, you might find yourself thinking back to the years when remembering birthdays, appointments, and medications was never a problem. You kept track of everything in your head, and it worked just fine. No need for reminders or lists. It felt empowering, even admirable, to rely solely on your memory to stay organized. But as time passes, things change in ways we don't always notice at first. The truth is, our memory isn't quite what it used to be. It may not be failing, but it's slowing down. We all know that feeling when you can't quite place something, whether it's a name, a fact, or a detail that should be at the tip of your tongue. And though it's easy to brush it off, those little lapses can become more frequent, and unfortunately, more consequential. Missing a lunch date is one thing, but forgetting whether you've taken your medication is another entirely. That's a mistake that could have a serious impact on your health. Forgetting whether you've taken your pills can lead to overdosing or, even worse, missing a crucial dose. It's a more common issue than people like to admit, and it can carry dangerous consequences, especially when it involves critical medications like blood pressure pills, diabetes medication, or painkillers. But let me be clear, writing things down, keeping track, using reminders, that's not a sign of weakness or failure. It's a sign of wisdom. It's a practical, powerful way to protect your health and safeguard your peace of mind. Let me share the story of Tom, a man I admire deeply. At 71, Tom had always prided himself on his sharp memory. He was the one everyone turned to for remembering important family dates, for handling finances, and for keeping track of details without ever needing a calendar. He never felt the need to write anything down, because, in his mind, his memory was all he needed. But one day, something changed. After missing an appointment with his specialist and accidentally skipping his morning meds twice in a week, Tom realized something had shifted. His mind wasn't working the way it used to. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. At first, Tom felt a twinge of shame, like he was admitting defeat. He didn't want to rely on a system that felt unnecessary, like he was surrendering to age. But after starting to jot down a few notes and setting alarms on his phone, he experienced something truly liberating. It wasn't just that he was more organized, he was less anxious. He shared with me that it felt like he'd finally let go of a burden he didn't even realize he had been carrying. Our brains are incredibly powerful, but they're also human. With decades of experiences, memories, and knowledge under our belts, it's completely natural for our short-term memory to slow down a bit. This doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means that we could use a little help along the way. Using a simple notebook, posting a calendar on the fridge, or setting digital reminders isn't a sign that you're slipping. It's a sign that you're taking charge of your well-being in a smart, proactive way. What's so surprising to many people is how freeing it feels to get the tasks out of your head and into a tangible system. It clears away the mental clutter and reduces stress. Instead of constantly running the same to-do list through your mind, you can now trust the tools you've set up to do the heavy lifting. Your mind can finally breathe a little easier, and that alone brings a greater sense of peace and confidence. So, don't be afraid to make life a little easier on yourself. Embrace the tools that can help you stay organized and on top of things. You deserve the relief and the clarity that comes from using these simple systems. After all, it's not about your memory failing. It's about being wise enough to know when it's time to give your mind a little break. And believe me, that's a strength, not a weakness. Number 6. Avoiding technology entirely. One of the most subtle yet deeply limiting habits that many people over 70 fall into, often without even realizing it, is the decision to completely turn away from technology. It's an easy trap to slip into. Maybe it feels like too much of a hassle. Perhaps you've tried it before and felt completely overwhelmed by the confusing terms and complex settings. Or maybe you've convinced yourself that technology simply isn't for you, telling yourself things like, "I don't need all that," or "I'm too old to learn something new," or "I've been fine without it for years." In the moment, those thoughts may bring you a sense of comfort or safety. They might even help you feel more secure in your routine. But what they're doing is quietly pushing you further away from tools that have the potential to genuinely improve your life. Technology doesn't have to be this overwhelming monster that we sometimes make it out to be. It doesn't mean diving into social media or buying every shiny new gadget that comes out. It can be something as simple as learning how to send a text, using a voice assistant to set a reminder, or even accessing your health records online. These small, simple things can transform your daily life in ways that might surprise you. You see, technology is not a passing trend or something you have to force yourself to enjoy. It's a lifeline. A way for you to manage your prescriptions, stay in touch with family members, reach out for help in an emergency, and find any information you need within seconds. So when you choose to completely avoid it, you're not escaping pressure. You're only increasing your dependence on others. And that can be a very isolating feeling. Let me share a story with you. Meet Margaret. At 78, Margaret was someone who relied on her daughter for almost everything. Checking her appointments, looking up medication refills, and even finding out about special events or activities. Her daughter was always there for her, but Margaret began to feel something that no one wants to feel: dependent. She didn't want to feel like she was a burden, but slowly, it was becoming the reality. One day, her grandson sat down with her and showed her how to use her phone's calendar app, set up reminders, and even how to refill her prescriptions through her pharmacy's website. At first, Margaret struggled. There were many questions, some missteps, and a few moments of doubt. But over time, something amazing started to happen. She began to handle tasks on her own that once required constant calls to her daughter. The real breakthrough came when she felt something she hadn't felt in years: capable, independent. That's what this is all about. Not mastering the latest tech trends or becoming an expert at using every new app on the market. It's about regaining your independence, one small, meaningful step at a time. Little victories with technology add up quickly. Checking the weather, reading messages from loved ones, receiving medical alerts, or even joining a virtual class. These seemingly small steps can do wonders for your self-esteem, proving to you that you can adapt, you can grow, and most importantly, you can remain connected to the world around you. You don't need to become a tech wizard. What you need is a little curiosity and someone patient enough to help you along. If you've ever felt embarrassed or frustrated by not knowing how to use something, it's time to let that go. Everyone starts somewhere, and no one expects you to understand it all right away. The beauty lies in giving yourself the grace to learn, to try, to fail, and to keep trying. Technology isn't your enemy as you age. In fact, it can become your greatest ally. The more open you are to it, the more opportunities you create for yourself. As we wrap up this video, I invite you to take a moment of quiet reflection. Think about everything we've discussed today. Which of these habits resonates with you? Which one caught you by surprise? After 70, the way we approach life often changes, but unfortunately, no one hands us a new guidebook. It's easy to slip into routines that feel comfortable, but over time, those routines might be chipping away at your health, your independence, and your peace of mind. But here's the wonderful truth: it's never too late to change. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in a single day. All it takes is the awareness of these 6 common pitfalls and a small step in the right direction. Maybe it's adding a bit more movement into your day, adjusting your diet to suit your needs, or asking someone to show you how to use that new phone. Remember, you're not falling behind. You're learning to move forward with purpose and intention. You are capable. You are worthy. And you are never too old to start something new. As we close today's video, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. We've explored some deeply impactful habits, ones that can either hold us back or help us move forward with purpose as we age. Technology, movement, independence, and the simple yet powerful choices we make each day. These are the keys to a vibrant and fulfilling life. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned today that resonated with you? What's one small change you plan to bring into your life from what we've discussed? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. I truly believe that the more we share, the more we inspire others. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with someone who might benefit, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an update. We're in this together, and I'm so grateful to have you here with us. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.